Hello and welcome. When we talk about the big problems in modern healthcare, we often ask, who's really to blame? Well, today we're digging into a pretty provocative answer from a physician with over 5 decades of experience. And trust me, it might not be what you expect.
You know the headlines. Sky-high drug costs, marketing that feels way too aggressive. It's the kind of stuff that just makes you frustrated with the whole system. And it's easy to feel angry, right? It's a complicated and, let's be honest, often infuriating world.
And when we feel that frustration, we tend to look for a target. The story becomes simple, it's a familiar one. It's all the fault of this single massive industry.
But hold on, this is where our source for today really challenges us. What if that's only part of the story? What if blaming a faceless corporation is actually letting someone else off the hook?
And there it is. Boom. That one sentence completely reframes the entire debate. Suddenly, it's not just about the company making the drug, it's about the person who's actually writing the prescription.
So let's really lean into that idea. What does it actually mean to talk about physician accountability? It's time to break down this uncomfortable question.
After 56 years practicing medicine, the author makes a powerful point. Treating doctors like they're just passive cogs in a machine is a really dangerous assumption. It kind of undermines the whole idea of what a doctor is supposed to be, a highly trained, active, and responsible decision maker.
To really get to the bottom of this, we have to go back to basics. The author argues that first, we need to be absolutely crystal clear about the fundamental duties of a doctor versus the duties of the pharmaceutical industry.
And when you lay it out like this, wow, the distinction is just night and day. A doctor's duty is a moral covenant, a personal promise made to a patient. The industry's duty is commercial. It's to its shareholders. Now, these two things don't have to be in conflict, but they are built on totally different foundations.
Now, just to be super clear, this isn't about demonizing commerce. A company trying to make a profit isn't inherently evil. The whole point is that these two worlds play by different rules, and for the entire system to work safely, that line between them has to be bright and clear.
So, what does that ideal relationship look like? How do medicine and industry work together? Well, the author uses two really powerful metaphors to explain this necessary but very delicate balance.
First, we've got this piece of ancient wisdom from the Tamil classic, the Thirukkural. It's a proverb that offers a timeless lesson on finding just the right balance. The meaning is so simple, but so profound. If you get too close to the fire, in this case, industry, you risk getting burned. Your judgment gets clouded. But if you stay too far away, you miss out on the warmth, on innovation, and your patients lose out. It's all about that perfect, measured distance. And this idea of measured distance leads us to an even more powerful image. Thinking of healthcare and industry as the two rails of a railway track, you absolutely need both for the train of medical progress to move forward. But, and here's the crucial part, for that train to stay on track, the rails must always run parallel. They can never, ever meet, because the moment those two lines converge, the whole system derails. And you know who gets hurt in that crash? The patient.
Okay, so this brings us to the big counter-argument you might be thinking of. The idea that doctors are basically powerless, that they're just victims of this huge, overwhelming system. But is that really the whole picture? And let's be fair, the pressures are totally real. You've got corporate marketing machines, pressure from hospital administrators, and just never enough time. These forces are absolutely designed to influence decisions, no doubt about it.
However, and this is the absolute core of the argument, pressure is not the same thing as powerlessness. A doctor's entire education is built on one thing, evaluating evidence critically. Their training gives them the agency, the power, to question the data. And at the end of the day, their oath is to the patient, not to a company.
And this is exactly why it matters so much. When the medical profession just blames corporations, it's unintentionally giving away its own power. It's chipping away at the image of the doctor as an independent moral agent who can, and absolutely should, make the right call for their patient.
So where does this all leave us? Well, it all comes down to that final moment of decision, and what it's going to take to preserve the real integrity, the soul of medicine. When you boil it all down, it comes to this simple truth. The practice of medicine can never, ever be treated as just another sales channel for some product.
No, instead it has to be what it was always meant to be, a moral covenant, a sacred trust between one human being and another. That's the bedrock of the entire doctor-patient relationship.
So, despite all the external noise, from industry, from regulators, from the system itself, that final decision is always made in one place, the consultation room. And that responsibility, it's not transferable. You can't just pass the buck.
And we'll end with this powerful call to action. The future of medicine doesn't just hinge on the next big scientific breakthrough. It depends on a recommitment to this kind of ethical clarity. It's a profound reminder that for every single physician, the responsibility always begins and ends with them.